All right. Vincent. Vincent, are you there, girl?
Vincent's helping his mom right now.
Okay, can you do it, Thomas?
Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma, in 100,000 million eons, is difficult to encounter. Now that I've come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus what comes one's true and actual meaning.
Thomas, you have your youngest brother,
Oh,
Ivan.
yeah, I have it right now.
Let's see what him. So last week we okay. Let's do 1 minute meditation together. All right. Keep your back straight, your neck straight. Close your eye. Inhale and exhale to the nose. You count 1. Inhale and exhale to the nose. You count 2, and keep going. Do not hold your breath and do it naturally. If you see your monkey mind, right, just go back to your inhale and exhale. And and if you lose track of your counting, stop from 1. Thank you, God. 1, 2, 3. Just sit straight and sit still. Relax your shoulder. All right. Um, so last week we have learned about they call the cognitive distortion, right? And we also watched I think it's the last time we learned about this one right here. This is the one. Not this one. Hold on. Okay, hold on. They call. Okay, the cognitive distortion. So basically, we just change the way that the thought form, right? I mean, it's instead of we use I should, so we use I will try, I can do, or whatever. That help us so we don't have to uphold the promise that we cannot be able to fulfill. So, but you try your best, and that's how we decrease the stress. Um, Beside this, what else we learn, Nicholas? Remember last week?
I don't really remember.
We remember we watched the video.
I remember watching the video a little bit.
Yeah, the what what kind of video was that?
Wasn't it the parents and the son, and how like the parent needs to understand the child or something?
Yeah. Um, so yeah, what happened to the child?
Um, he didn't want to do something. I forgot what it was. I think it was like he was getting bullied or something, and he didn't tell his father because it would make him feel weak.
Hmm. Okay.
Remember, but I forget.
Mm. Tammy, can you help them to summarize what we have learned last week?
So the movie was about a little boy that ended up committing suicide, even though everybody thought he was good because he was always the funny kid, the happy kid. But what his father had done is he went through life pretending like everything was okay. So even though he filed for bankruptcy multiple times, he never told his family. He always kept a brave face. And so, since he behaved that way, that's how his son behaved. So, his son never reached out for help when he needed help, just like his father kind of had taught him. So, what we learned was as parents, you want to be able to support your children and show them that, we all have failures, we all have emotions. And that way, the children are more willing to come to you when they're in a time of need to get your help.
Mm. So because the father is not only a CEO, but he also very good in uh, kickboxer, right? I think he some kind of kickboxer, and um, and that means his son also learned from that, and that means the father is so tough. That means he said that the man should not cry, right? And that's why the son also follow his father. And whenever the son have problem, so he keep hiding his emotion, and he did not want to share. And usually when the son want to talk to his father, what happened? You know what happened when the son want to talk to his father, Nicholas? What happened to the father?
The father could be judgmental and not like not understand his child and judge his actions instead of actually helping him.
Mm. Actually, the bigger the father is the CEO. You know what is CEO mean?
He's one of the like founders of the company or something.
CEO, that means the chief executive officer, that means the one who run the company. But he doesn't mean that he the owner. No, it doesn't mean that. Sometimes the owner hire the CEO to help him to run the company. So that means he the head of the company, and that means he's very busy. And whenever the son want to talk to him, right, he always on the phone, and he said that give me 30 minutes, and he keeps saying that. And when the time comes, he forgot. And that means that the son could not be able to have time with the father, and that's why the child cannot be able to express his own feeling, and that means he keep holding the feeling, right? and one thing is the father when the father home, right, the father said ask his son that how are you okay? And the son always say I'm okay, I'm okay. But you know what, when the son when his son is commit suicide, after that he know that when he asked his son are you okay, and the son responds okay, the okay it means no okay. Actually, he after that he understood the response, and Yeah, he went out and he did a lot of research for throughout many years to from many different parents and to understand the trial. No, no, I mean the young the children behavior and all those things. Um, and that's why he come create this video to share not only to the children but as well as the parents that need to be aware of their children, and this is important. Okay, yesterday I bring up this thing to the class in the evening, and there was a young kid. He only fifth grade, and fifth or sixth grade, I'm not so sure. He said that it is okay that I don't have to tell tell other people about my emotion or my feeling. Can I keep it inside me? Who can help me? Is that a good thing to do, Thomas?
No,
Why not?
because you don't know if if you keep the emotions to yourself, you don't know how to handle it, and it might lead to something really bad. So instead, you want to talk to someone so they can help you out, even if it's personal that you know that might hurt you.
When we keep a lot of negative feeling, and eventually, just like the balloon, right? It's so stressed. You stretch the balloon out, come to the point that it will burst it, right? The same thing. That means when we holding too much negative feeling inside us, and it will become so stressed. And when you have a lot of stress, it will become depression. And when you have a lot of depression, it will lead to commit suicide. That is the video we watched last. Uh, we watched it last week. Oh, I will put that link so the one whoever not have a chance to see it, you can see it by yourself. It's a very good video. It's well educated. So and remember, what happens if you do not have anyone to talk? What can you do? What can you do? Jaden, Jaden,
Yeah.
let's say that you have a lot of, let's say that we do not have anyone to communicate. What can you do?
Well, try and get connections with more people and like try and meet more people and talk to people.
And you know what happens when the people holding their oppression and they have no one to communicate? You know what they do? Usually, you know what they do.
Well, their mental state goes down the drain.
By the way, well, how do they let the emotion go out? In which way? Do you know which way they let their emotion come out?
Well,
Usually,
through their actions.
game. Because game, when they play game, right? Usually the people do not cannot be able to socialize with other people, cannot be able to communicate with other people. The only environment is suitable for them. What they do is they spend a lot of time to play game because that is where they can express their emotion in game. Because from game, what game do? What game do? When we play game, what kind of okay, Nicholas, can you say to me if what the good thing about game? Tell me.
I mean, the main like thing for me is being able to play with my friends and not being alone doing nothing.
Do you know the game developer? They are very good at psychology. Do you know why?
So they have to be good so people will enjoy the game and have fun.
And what they do is they make sure the one who play they will become addicted. That's their mission. And that's how the game developer or the game producer make money. That makes sense? And what are the criteria that make the people who play game become addicted? Do you know what are they?
No.
No? Thomas, can you tell me what are they?
Wait, what is what?
Okay. The game, I said that the game developer or producer, I mean the game developer, they are very good at the psychology, right? Do you know why?
Well, the game developers,
Yeah, the company who produce game, they are very good at psychology.
because they know what children want, they know what they will like. So they produce the game so then children would want it, forcing their parents having to pay off their pockets and all that.
Not only that, the whole idea of game developer is, I mean, the company who produce game is, they want to make sure the one who play game become addictive. Okay, that's the whole idea. That is the goal of the game producer. And what are the criteria that make the people play become addictive? Do you know what are they?
No.
Tell me, do you think you know?
A couple of them I thought was rewards and a sense of achievement.
That's correct. What about social network?
Yeah, because even now they can play with each other even though they're not in the same room.
Right. Think about it. If the people who have low, they call the low esteem, right? That means a lack of confidence in the real world, right? Maybe they are not they are the one who not other people. So they will look down from other people from the real life. But you know what? When they put their mind into game, and you know what? The player, they do not care who you are, and they don't care you are the successful person in outside or not. They don't care. But when we be able to play good, right? We be able to earn a lot of points, and that's how they recognize us. And that's what the social line network is right there. And that it means that it puts their self-esteem up a little bit in the virtual world. It's not in the real world. Okay, this is called the virtual world. Yes, there are 4 criteria that make the people become addicted. First of all, people who have who cannot be able to have a social life in the real world, right? That means they cannot be able to connect to anyone, no one to talk. And also they the one who have a lot of emotional problems, right? And they can use game to hiding their emotion. And you know what? And they also use game to create the social network. Okay, social network. And whenever and let's say that in the outside world, they were not well recognized by other people. Other people look down on them. But when they go into the virtual world, right? That means the game environment. Depend on if they play very good and they are a good player, and they were recognized by their talent. And that's how it makes other people addicted. So social network well recognized, and also the mission, right? The mission, that means you have the goal to make sure that you'll be able to complete your goal, your mission, and also a war, right? Reward depend on how good you are. You got a certain reward. That's how. These are the things that make people become so addicted to game. This is the what I'm talking about. This is the psychology. So the game developer, not developer, the game company, they are so good at the psychology. And that is all the young generation in current society right now, it's were the victim of the game. And this is very sad. But what can we do? Does it make sense to you, Thomas?
Yeah.
So it's really sad because the more we spend time with game, do you think that you have a good relationship with other people, Thomas?
No, because you're stuck in that screen. You're not talking or interacting with anyone else except like the people online, I guess. Like you cut off your friends and family for video games.
That's correct. Is that a good thing?
No, no, it isn't.
No. And that's why it's not only that. Usually within the family, right? Within the family, if the parent need need help from their children, but if the children become so addicted to game, and you know what? When the parent asked the children to stop it and help the parent, what happened? Ivan, can you help me to understand it, Ivan?
They'll get mad at the parents, and then the parents and the children will start to argue.
So that's how we get, both parent and children get stressed, right? Very stressful. So and you see that how harmful game is. Game is very harmful. It's okay to play game, but we have to control ourselves. But usually, do you think that we control ourselves? Nicholas, can we control ourselves when we play game?
Yeah, you just have to come to the realization that there's things are more important and games are just an entertainment.
Yeah, but sometimes people cannot be able to control themselves. When they hook into it and the parent asks them to stop and help them to do something, you know what? Just like Ivan said, they get mad. They yell at the parent. And usually what they do, parent, give me 5 minutes, please. And they keep repeating, give me 5 minutes, and you know what? It's that all the way to 1 hour. and finally, they maybe they stand up and they help, but with very angry. And that due to the game addiction. You see that? It's not healthy at all. And remember, game addiction is not healthy for our body. Okay. That's why we just be careful, because a lot of time we do not we do not know the danger of this thing. And now today I lay out for you guys, so you know this is we have to be very careful. We have to be very mindful. Hung, do you understand so far, Con?
Yeah, I know.
So we have to be very mindful to what we deal with, right? So if we do not be able to communicate anyone, but at least we try the best to have someone that you can trust. So if you have anything, you can talk to that person. And that's how you release your stress. Otherwise, it will become the timing bomb. It will explode. When the time comes, it will explode. Right? We don't want that. Aaron, you understand so far?
Yeah, Ty.
Good. Okay. So remember, just like Nicholas said that we need to come with the realization that we need to know which one is important, education or game. And there are many other things beside game. We have a lot of important things to do. If we don't care about our education now, do we think that we have a good future in the good life in the future, Ivan?
Can you repeat that?
Okay, if we don't care about ourselves right now, don't take a good care of education, do you think we have a good life in the future?
No.
So we have to realize which one is important more than the other. And we have to focus on the important one first. Okay? Entertainment is okay, but don't put too much time to play game at one time. We will become addictive, and it's hard to control. I know addiction is very tough to get out. It's not easy. Okay.
Can I add to this?
Yeah.
What I didn't understand as a youth, and now I see so clearly, is whatever you do in your childhood, they create habits. So if you create the habit of playing video games all the time now, then when you're older and you're the one that thinks, oh, I can walk away from it, I can stop anytime, then that shows that you probably have a problem. Because what's going to happen is if you put too much time into it now, when you're in your 20s, when you're in your 30s, and you're in your 40s, you're going to keep repeating these same habits. You can break them, you can stop, but it's harder. The longer you let it go on, the longer it is to stop that habit. You'll go back to it. So you'll get married and you'll want to play video games, or you'll have a girlfriend or a boyfriend and they're going to want to go out and interact with you, and you're going to be stuck on that video game. Or you're going to end up having kids, and your kids are going to want to play with you, and you're going to be still attached to that video game. And then you're going to make your kids attached to it because they see daddy or mommy playing the games all the time. So even if it doesn't seem like it's a problem now, as you get older, you'll see that it's harder and harder to walk away from, and it'll become a part of your life, a part that you don't want. And I can see it not even in this life, but my daughter, who's 3 years old, she's got a problem with video games. Like the second time I let her play one, the first time she just threw a fit when I wanted her to get off of the game. And the second time she was playing it and her brother tried to take the game away from him. And she literally just, without even looking, she's still playing the video game. She reached out and choked him, hit him right in the neck without even looking. And it was only her second time playing a video game. So that told me right away that in her past life, she had this problem. So I tried never to let my kids play video games, hardly ever, but just to kind of let everybody know that even if it doesn't seem like a big issue and that you can walk away from it every time, know that whatever you're doing, try to make positive habits. Try to read the book, try to study, try to go out and hang out with your friends, because in the future, whatever you're doing now, you're going to continue to do unless you put a lot of effort into changing those habits and behaviors.
Yeah, that's correct. But try to change gradually. You don't have to do it once because it's not easy to do it once. So what you do is you decrease the time of playing game each day, little by little. I don't expect you to stop right away. No, it will tough for you. But try to decrease. I will tell you the true story. This is the true story. I remember that in 2010, in 2011, I worked for the company. Before I became a monk, right? I worked for the company, and there were the co-workers. She were the receptionist, right, for the company. And you know what? She said that she had the son. I think at that time he was about 14 years old, I guess. And she kept yelling at her son that no, don't play video game. But you know what? She is the one who addicted to game anyway. When she said to her son that you should not play game, but you know what? She went into her room and she locked the door and she played game by herself. She feels so what do you call? Um, uh, she cannot be able to stop playing game. And she know that is not right, that you force the children not to play, but you play. That is not right. But what does that mean? Just like Tammy said, that if we have a bad habit at the young age, and eventually that will build up in the old age. And I have the very good friend. We graduated from the same school, the same major, 30 years ago. Yeah. No, 25 years ago. Okay, basically, when he was young, right? I think it's during maybe middle school or high school. And you know what? You know how much at that time they know internet. They know internet in the 1980 something, 84, no, 87 or 89 something. There were internet at that time. And you know what? He played game from the morning to midnight. Oh my God! They say, and you know the father punish him so much, but he still keep going. And you know what? When he graduate from the luckily he be able to complete the university, and he graduate. And when he get married and he have children, he still play video game just like that. That is true. We have to be very careful. It's not easy to have a good habit, but very easy to build a bad habit. So we have to be very careful. Okay, let me move on. Okay. So we already learned about this, right? This is related to the way that we think, the way the thought. Instead of we using the negative thought, we convert the negative thought into the positive thought, right? That's how we change our attitudes from the negative attitude into the positive attitude. Just like last week we learned. A lack of environment and social reward. So basically, the people who depressed, right? Usually like this. Maybe when they were young, they lived into in the environment that is terrible. That means maybe no one care about them, and of course, and also when no one care about them, then that means it's no reward, right? But only get a punishment. Maybe when you live in an environment with so much child abuse, and that means the child becomes so depressed when they were young. Yeah, and you know what? With that depression from the young age, and it will carry on and become very even more depressed when they get older. And you know what? When they let's say that later on they get married, right? They have children. Their children will have 3 times or 6 times more stress than the child were with the parent with no depressed. That's important. So we don't want to become the depressed parent, because our children will have 3 times or 6 times greater than the children who without the parent who with the parent with no depressed. So we have to be very, and also if we live in the society, right, the social inequality. What do you think about this social inequality? Vincent, do you know what does it mean?
No, I don't.
Tell me, what does it mean to us?
So I think it means like the poor stay poor and the rich stay rich.
The gap, you mean the gap, right?
Yes.
So that that means Yeah, because it's so it depend due to this. That's why the people also get depressed. If the people who so poor, right, and they cannot be able to handle their rent, to pay for the rent, to pay for the food, do you think they will get more depressed? Home, home.
What did he say?
Okay, let's say that when we are poor, right? And we cannot be able, we don't have enough money to pay for the rent or for the food to take care of our own family. Don't you think that we will have a lot of stress and depressed?
Yeah, it's because like you have so much stuff on your hands. You have to do like this. You have to pay rent while doing this at the same time.
Right now, especially during the COVID pandemic, a lot of people become not only the young age but the old age parents and children. Usually, okay, who can tell me why during the COVID-19 pandemic we have more stress and depressed than before the COVID? Who can tell me that? Aaron.
Can you repeat it one more time?
Okay, during the COVID-19, right, pandemic, people will have more stress and depressed compared to the before the COVID. Why was that?
Oh, they want to be outside and they're not used to like being inside like all the time.
Besides that, okay, tell me why the children have a lot of depressed during this time. Why? Aaron?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat that one more time?
Oh, you have problem to hear me? Oh, okay. All right. So during this time, why children are more depressed than before? Why?
They're more used to like being outside more than rather than staying inside.
And when they stay inside, what makes them not only stay inside, but what else makes them become more depression?
Playing games and stuff.
That's correct. That's correct. That is the most important. Because when we go to school, we don't have time to play game. As much that right now, right? Right now we at home, it's very easy to get on the computer and play game. That's why the children have more stress, more depressed. Therefore, it makes the parent even more depressed. And remember, if what happened during this time, the parent lose job, right? They lost their job. And that means they cannot be able to pay the rent. They cannot be able to take care of the family. That means the parent become very stressed. Everything related to the money, that means the husband and wife become the problem. Okay? And it will have a lot of conflict, and that will become a very, very problematic. So, the good thing is to avoid this thing. How do we be able to avoid something unexpected happen like COVID-19? Nicholas?
What was the question again?
Okay, the COVID-19 happened. No one expect that, right? So this is called unexpected, right? So how do we prepare so that we can avoid something unexpected happen, that we don't put ourselves in trouble as much as other people?
So are you talking about like how a person could like be prepared, or like as a whole we could be prepared?
Okay, let's say that you are the father of the family. So how do we make sure that our family is not will be in this kind of situation as much as other family?
Well, follow all the safety precautions by the CDC and try and limit your exposure to it. That's the main thing.
Mm,
I don't know.
mm. No, that's good, but you don't know this thing will happen, right? You don't know. Then of course of course, when it happened, we follow. That's correct. But you need we need to prepare something that we cannot see. It will happen in the future, but when it happens, we don't be in the deep problem.
I mean, I guess you could prepare by always having like food in stock, maybe like a safe house, like a basement or something to go to for like for disasters and stuff if that
Mm.
happened, something unexpected.
Yeah. Okay, that's one way. Okay. Tell me, what do you think? What do you think? I think that you can help them.
Yes. So for sure, the most important thing is your state of mind. So by practicing meditation, it already. So for me, I was lucky enough that I came and found the temple in January of 2020. So I had already had a couple months where I had became a member here and was able to interact with the after school program and come to the meditation weekly and start to learn the Dharma classes. And so that's just helped me tremendously keep a decent state of mind through everything. Because when your mind deteriorates, everything else falls apart around you. So if you can keep yourself practicing meditation and listening to Dharma or any other kind of books or encouraging words that help you lift you up, that's most important. That way you can keep your positive or neutral state of mind so that everything, and when you can have that kind of environment, then everything else doesn't quickly fall apart on you. If you get negative, then everything's going to be negative. So you want to make sure you have a good state of mind.
Mm. So that's like the cognitive distortion, right? We make sure we always have the positive mind. So that's how we be able to overcome the difficulty, right? And not only that, and for the physically, for the thing is, we have to be very careful with the finance, right? With the money. So don't waste the money. That means do not expand on things that not necessary, right? It's important. For example, when we have the iPhone, right? Phone is only good to use for calling, for communication. We don't need to have the luxury phone. Does that make sense, Big Wing?
Yes.
So the more we know how to manage the money, and when the time come, right, we have those things and we can deal with easily than the one who do not know how to manage the money. Uh, so it's important. So we save for the raining day, like raining day. Is that how you say it, Tammy? In the English, in the American people, they say that save it for the raining day, right?
Yes, save for a rainy day. And this helped me out a lot during the pandemic. I mean, tremendously. I remember it took me until my early 20s when I finally was able to pay off all my debt and not live off of credit cards up until like my early 20s. And it was such a stressful time, horrible way to live. I mean, and I think the majority of Americans live this way. So I can't imagine, like, I will never go back there ever because it's just too much stress. I don't understand how people, can handle it. Um, but when the pandemic hit, that's what saved me. I mean, having so much savings, I was able to step away from my job and not have to worry about it. So I could stay home with my kids because I have two young kids. So having that already saved up, I mean, it was just a huge blessing where I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have to worry about going in debt and having all that additional unnecessary stress.
The people who have a lot of stress is because they spend on the unnecessary thing. For example, there are a lot of people will they maybe they work and they make money. It's not that not a lot of money, but they buy the car. You know what? 40,000. The car costs about 40,000. You know what? And they also not only buy one, but they buy two. Oh my goodness! But you know, they cannot be able to handle the monthly payment, and that costs them a lot of stress and distress. And you know what? Those things we should be careful. We should not use on the unnecessary, and we have to be careful what we are using. Right? And that's how you shape yourself in the future for the unexpected thing happen. When it happens, we can be able to overcome easily. Um, so that thing, remember, just like Tammy said, don't, because later on when you grow up, you go to the college, and when you see that you have the credit card in your hand, all you need to do is just swipe to the machine, and that's how you get the thing, the item easily. But you never think about the consequence that you have to pay for that item, right? Remember, the credit card is the most dangerous thing to use, because usually when we use it, we do not mindful. And we add a lot of debt into ourselves, and that's how we carry on the stress and stress. Okay, let me go to all this thing here. Okay, this thing is okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I think we go through this thing again. All right, let's maybe we can go ahead and read this thing. Where are you there, girl? Okay, Aaron,
Yes.
read it from number 3.
The depression could cause by biological factors, depressed parents not through genetics, relationship within the family structure, psychological factors affect individual problem solving skills, personal habitual or reflective way of attaching meaning to life events.
Okay, stop right there.
Social
Stop right there. Do you understand depressed parent not through the genetic?
Yeah, like from playing games and stuff.
No, not really. No, but through the genetic. Um, genetic, that means it's inherited from your parent. That means that's what they call through the genetic. But this is the depressed did not come from the genetic, because there is no depressed genetic. You understand the word genetic, right? Aaron,
Sorry?
do you understand the word genetic?
Yeah, I know what that means.
What does that mean?
Like genes, you know.
Right, gene. That means it comes from parent to children, right?
Yeah.
That means in here, when they say that depressed parent not through genetic, it means that the depression not come from genetic, because there is no such thing called depressed genetic. But 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 if they have the genetic disease, that means the people who have the genetic disease, for example, if in the family history, right, the family, if the parent have cancer, right, maybe the children will have the similar cancer too. That's what we call genetic disease. When we have the genetic disease, because the disease will cause us, why the genetic disease cause us to become depressed? Do you know why?
No.
Thomas, you understand my question, Thomas? Thomas, Vincent, where your brother?
He's doing something with his mom.
Okay, Vincent, you understand what is the genetic disease?
Not really.
Jaden, you understand what is genetic disease?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say that the parent have stroke, right? And later on, the children could also have the stroke similar to it. It's called the genetic disease. And why the genetic disease causes her to become the depressed? Why would that get in?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, because maybe something in your genetics altered the way you think or your mind worked.
I just want to make sure I distinguish between genetic. It's not cause her to become depressed, but genetic disease will cause her to become depressed. So that's what I try to distinguish. Uh, Nicholas, do you understand?
I think so.
You are okay. Tell me why the genetic disease caused us to become depressed.
Well, I don't think it's a genetic disease. I think it's the environment, but there's some factors from like genetic diseases that could lead to depression. Like if you like are born with, I don't know, like 6 toes and then you get bullied for it,
Yeah, that's correct.
that could lead to depression through bullying and stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Mainly,
That's right.
I think it's the environment.
Yeah. So genetic disease is caused because just like you say, environment. That's right. Because other people will look down on you, or because the disease itself will cause us to become stressed and depressed. When we're sick, right? Do you think that we feel happy when we get sick? No, we're not, right? So we feel down. And when we feel down, that means we will get more stress. And more stress, we get more depressed. So that's why, tell me, you understand the difference between the two, right? Genetic and genetic disease, right?
Yes, I think that was a great example.
Okay. So this means that that important. Okay, the relationship within the family structure is so important, right? So if we don't have if we don't have a good relationship within the family structure, then we will have a lot of problems. Okay, it will be a lot of problems. So what I'm trying to so it's so important to have the good relationship with other, not only the family but with everyone, because that's how we and how do we build the good relationship? Okay, let me okay today. Oh, time is running out. Next week I will show you the video that how to build the positive relationship with other. Um, and psychological factor that means affect the individual problem skill, solving skill. That means when the people depressed, right, they cannot be able to handle their own problem. They cannot be able to solve their own problem. They stuck, and they become very what do you call clumsy, very they don't know what to do, right? They stuck, so they cannot be able to solve whatever the problem they have. Um, And personal habitual of reflexive way of attaching meaning to life. Oh, this is important. I make sure that you understand this. Tammy, can you explain this thing to them?
So that would be like something bad happening to you as a child, and then you attach to it. So you say, because my brother called me stupid one time, then you attached to it and think, now I'm stupid. So, but of course, it can be more extreme events when something negative or bad happens to you and you don't let it go. You attach to it and you become whatever has happened to you rather than just letting it go and moving on.
Okay. Let me go. Okay. Personal habitual. It means that let's say that we have a bad habit to play game, right? That personal habitual will it become the psychological factor for the depression. Okay, because those things will carry on throughout the life, right? And reflexive way of attaching meaning to life event, like if something negative happened in the past, and we always holding on the past event, we do not let go, and that means whenever something happens and it's similar to that, then it will trigger our mind to relate it to the past. And therefore, we suffer, therefore, we depress. Jaden, do you understand this one? Jaden?
Yeah.
This is important. Nicholas, do you understand this? Nicholas? Good. So I have a friend. When he we were the boat people. You know what is the boat people mean? It means that we escaped the country, we escaped Vietnam, and we went by boat across the ocean. We went to the other country for the refuge. We stayed there for a few years, and we came to the United States, or depend on which country they accept the refugee, and that's what we call the boat people. And I have a friend. We have the same background. So he went here with our parents, just like myself. I went here with our parents. And you know what? When we went here with our parents at the age of 14, it's not easy. It's very tough. Okay? It's not easy at all. Life is very tough. Okay, so um, and so life very tough. But you know what? He will live under the. He will live with his uncle and with aunts, right? And they always abuse him when he was young. They always abuse him when he was young. And you know what? Right now, even though he finished the university, and right now he about 50 something, about my age. Yeah. So whenever someone mentions his uncle name, whenever someone mentions his uncle name, you know what? And his, you know what? And he react very negatively, uncontrollable. He gets so angry and he want to kill that uncle. Why was that? Because he always attached to the past event. And that what does that mean? That means that person always live in the depressed mode. He always in the depression mode. Even though he grew up, but he cannot be able to escape that depression. So this is very dangerous. And later on, I will teach you how to train your mind to become positive. Doesn't matter what kind of negative environment you have, what kind of negative situation you have, you can always be able to generate the positive thinking. That's how you have a positive attitude. I will teach you those things. This will help you to overcome those things. And when we be able to train our mind, and we be able to get out the depression easily, very easy. But if we do not know how to handle it, and we stuck there for a long time, for many years, even for lifetime, it's not easy. That makes sense to you, Tammy?
Yes, that makes sense.
So we need to learn how to forgive and how to let go. If we do not forgive, and then we cannot let go, then we stuck, and we become very depressed. So okay, I will stop right here. So that psychological factor is so important because that when you have that, you cannot grow. Your mind cannot grow, but the physical body always grow, but the mind is not grow. That means we do not become mature. Remember, doesn't matter how old we are, maybe 70 years old, we still not mature yet because we don't know how to deal with it. The person who do not know how to deal with the situation, with emotion, then that means they are not yet mature. Doesn't matter how old they are. But the one who in the young age, they know how to deal with it in the positive way, they are the mature mind. Does it make sense to you, Aaron?
Yeah, Thai.
How do you understand so far? Kang?
Yes.
Good. So the mature doesn't go by the age. Mature go by the way that how our mind, how our attitude dealing with the real life situation in the positive way or in the negative way. If we are always have a negative right view, then we are not yet mature. Does that make sense to you, Tammy?
Yes, that makes sense. Complete sense.
This is very important. So later on, I will help you to train your mind in the positive under any kind of negative situation. This is the most important about. Maybe I will, because I teach that in the Vietnamese class for the adults, but I think it's also suitable for this level. But I have to translate the Vietnamese into the English so I can teach you. Okay. All right. Let's. Okay. I hope that we don't feel bored when we learn this thing. I hope. Do you think this is good discussion or not? Aaron, Bé Quyên, and Hưng, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a
It's
serious
good.
thing to talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay, right? Not too bad, right?
No.
Okay, I hope I don't bore you. Okay, so but just be patient. You will learn a lot of things later on, and once you know how to deal with your own emotion and how to deal with it, and that's how you gain the wisdom. And the wisdom, once you you gain the wisdom, that's how makes you become mature. Yeah. Let's see, Aaron, reading it.
May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace, with heart of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may their minds awake to the great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May in kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night, because our hearts are one. This world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise.
Okay. Before we leave today, I just want to announce that tomorrow at the temple for Cat, I mean in Texas, I have the Buddhist class at the temple only, no online, and I from 2 to 3:15 Central Time. That's how I teach the young children from kindergarten to 12th grade to recite recite the sutra in English, do the meditation, recite the mantra, walking meditation, as well what we have the Buddhist discussion. So it's, that I would spend a lot of time to help them to recite the sutra in English so they understand that they can be able to expose to the Buddhist teaching more. Okay. If you live in Texas, you are welcome to come to the temple at 2 o'clock to 3:15. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, Hưng, you stay after the class. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Long time.
Thank you.
I'm outside.